Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of McDonald County 411. I'm super excited. I have some friends with me today, if you can't tell. I also have Romana Vilsick. She's the clinic director of the I'm Your Huckleberry Spay and Neuter Clinic in Pineville, Missouri. Thank you for being here. So, first, we don't want to be rude, so we must introduce our other guests. So why don't you go ahead and introduce our other little friends?
Hey, well, this is Sally. She's a 2-year-old Boston Terrier that our clinic altered last week. She took the No More Litter pledge, and she's childless now, right, sweetheart? Yes. She is actually along with Cindy going to be making a trip to Chicago this weekend.
Oh, to the big
And there are people waiting for these dogs. Yes, her
country dogs go to the city.
yes, her mommy unfortunately had dementia and has passed away. So although the clinic is not the rescue, the family entrusted her care to me. Yeah. And I was able to connect with some rescue partners in the Chicago area, and she's going there. And Ziggy here, this party at the Cockpoodle, was surrendered about 2 weeks ago to me. There was a breakup in the family. And it happened. Yes, and unfortunately, neither party was really capable of taking care of Ziggy. So he also was vetted at our clinic and has got his traveling documents and will be leaving us about 5 o'clock in the morning on Saturday morning.
Well, Sally, Ziggy, thank you for joining us today. So cute. So, speaking of your clinic, I just wanted you to tell the audience a little bit about when was the clinic established?
And we first started back in December of 2023. We were borrowing equipment from Good Shepherd Humane Society over in Eureka Springs.
Okay.
And I would go over there with my van, bring it over here, set it up, and then we would have massive 3-day clinics doing about 60 animals. But we were doing that maybe every 3 months. Literally the amount of animals that we were in the requests for the appointments, we could not keep up. So at a certain point about 2 years ago, we sat down as a group because at that time we were not just the clinic. We were under the I'm You Huckleberry Rescue umbrella. And we said, well, if we're going to do this, we really have to do it correctly. And we want to go ahead and establish a true presence here in McDonald County.
Nice.
And so at that time, then we received some funding from various individuals, which is so important. People who understand the cause and are willing to write a check for a few $1,000s. And that allows us to purchase equipment, some new, some used. And thanks to the owners of the Pineville Plaza, they have generously leased us at a very significantly reduced price the use of 2 units there that are back to back, and our lease runs for 5 years.
A laptop to the owners?
Yes, yes, absolutely. They're wonderful, wonderful people. And so we opened our door as a standalone clinic last January, and we were still under the umbrella of the rescue at that time. Little did we know, at that time, our veterinarian was still working with another organization. And
Who is your veterinarian?
Dr. Priya Kangathi.
Okay.
And I've known Dr. Priya, as we call her, since about 2017 when she came to Spay Arkansas in Springdale, which I was the president of that organization. About 15 years of experience under my belt in terms of spaying and neutering and directing organizations.
It's a lifelong cause. This isn't a new cause for you.
It sounds in the passion of mine.
Yeah, you're just initiating in McDonald County.
I was here, I think, to do this work. And I'm so pleased to be able to offer my services to the McDonald County. I'm absolutely 100% volunteer. There's no money changing hands here. when I was
Thank you for your service.
when Dr. Priya trained at Spay, Arkansas, because she came here from India, and she worked on elephants and water buffalo.
I'm fascinating.
And honestly,
She has some great stories.
and she had no experience with dogs or cats. She was actually kind of afraid of them. So I'm like, okay, let's see how this is going to work out. But she's been fabulous. Her surgical skills are top notch. She passed all of the requirements to become licensed in the United States, and then ultimately in the state of Arkansas and now Missouri. And that's her gig. She stays and neuters. She works for us 3 days a week now. And she also works in Prairie Grove, Arkansas, at a community cat clinic there where she does exclusively cats. So I would say to you that she's probably, on average, doing about 225 spare neuters a week.
Oh, wow.
So she's very talented.
She can do these in her sleep.
Mm-hmm. And she also has general practice experience. So when we have animals that come to us that have other issues, along with the spaying and neutering, ear infections, eye infections. Sometimes we do enucleation, which is taking out the eye. She will do that. Sometimes even an amputation that we're able to do.
So she's good. She can, at minimum, tell you what diagnose and refer you to.
And it sounds like she loves other private services. Yes. So it's wonderful. So we've been happy to be here.
Yeah.
For this time. And then in January of this year, after much thought and looking at the way the books were being handled between the rescue and our side of the business, we determined that the clinic should be a standalone entity. So we made that application to the state of Missouri. And so we are a registered nonprofit in the state of Missouri.
Okay.
And then along with that comes the federal identification as a 501c3.
Right.
That application was put in and was granted.
You're full-fledged.
Yes, we are fully committed citizens.
So I do have some experience with that. So you've done everything. You checked all the boxes to be an appropriate legal nonprofit. Congratulations to you guys. And I bet that allows more funding to come your way. Yes. I imagine it wasn't just for some people who may not understand. It's not like you were trying to distance yourself from Huckleberry. Obviously, it's in your name, but what it does is allows you guys additional benefits for just your singular cause.
Correct.
Instead of just everything.
Right.
That Huckleberry covers.
Right.
And so it was almost a necessary thing. And kudos to you guys for doing that successfully.
Thanks.
So is there any other employee you guys have at the clinic or any other helpers you guys have, volunteers you have down there you'd like to shout out?
Yes. Well, we have a terrific front desk staff there that handles all of the incoming paperwork, all the intake of the animals there. And then basically all of that paperwork that follows the animal through the clinic, all the discharge instructions, the counseling that goes on, because it doesn't stop at the point where the animals have been fixed. It's about how the people get to care for those animals when they leave our facility. So those ladies are doing that at discharge. Everybody gets a opportunity to have an emergency contact, so people are fully aware that we are there to support them, and those ladies communicate that very, very well. In addition, then we have 2 technicians that are fully trained that do all of the intubating of the animals, the shaving, the prepping. They manage all of our drug laws, our controlled drug laws, and so forth. Those are records that are mandated by the veterinary board as well as the federal government when you're working with controlled substances and so forth. Our recovery team is led by a now retired registered veterinary technician that worked at a high-end practice in the St. Louis area. So she leads that effort there. So everybody has one-on-one attention when they're waking up from their surgeries. We have a team of ladies that provides our sterilization efforts in the background. They're taking instruments and cleaning them, and sterilizing, preparing them into packs for stage use. And so quite a group of people circulating,
and it sounds, I mean, obviously from what you were saying too about Sally and Ziggy, who are wanting to say hi right now. You guys do a lot more, even behind the scenes, with helping. I'm sure those people at the clinic help finding homes for you guys, little guys like these two. And so it sounds like you guys really provide even more services than much more besides space.
We do have, just this morning, we had 16 puppies that were presented to us for their health certificates, because you cannot ship an animal outside of the state of Missouri without a wellness check. So that we just which is good, but you don't want any diseases that are being transmitted to state lines. And especially if you're mixing dogs on a transport van, that they have to be safe to the other animals. So we had 16 puppies that were from the Goodman community. They were two mothers that had accidental litters. February 12th and 13th are their birthdays, and the moms were fixed a week and a half ago, so there's no more puppies coming out of that home. But you can imagine that family has been keeping those puppies safe. They're now between 15 and 20 pounds at 10 weeks old. And they have been feeding those animals and caring for those animals now for the last 10 weeks. And, they know what not getting their pets fixed has cost them, because this is the amount of physical labor that went into that household, as well as the costs now to provide services to all of those dogs, was well in excess of $500, which the family paid. But the simple act of fixing the two moms would have cost them less than $100. And so we're big advocates of stopping the problem. In the rescue and the animal advocacy world, there is a lot of conversation going on about the topic of no-kill shelters, which is important, that we don't want to be euthanizing any healthy animals in our shelters. Totally don't get to that point where we don't euthanize animals. Well, I like to go ahead and say on our side of the coin that no kill equals no birth, or no birth equals no kill.
Right.
If we don't ever have them being presented in this world, we don't have any danger of ever killing them.
That's so true.
And so that's our goal. There's no kill, no birth.
And, and one does have to say kudos to that family for minimum. What they did is, after the situation happened, they took all the right steps. They did what was right. So lesson learned, and kudos to you guys for being willing to work with them. Seeing that, okay, they've made a mistake initially, but now they see their error of their ways. They have fixed it with their dogs, and they are working closely with us to provide home for the new dogs. Right. And really, that's super responsible. And kudos for you guys for making them feel safe enough to come to you guys and not feel shamed. And you guys work with them so closely, and not speak disparagingly of them. They made a mistake and they corrected it, and they're working, and you guys are helping them. So I love that. So is there any other story that sticks with you?
Well, we still have one situation that we're working with that was presented to us in January of 2025. And it was because dogs were being given away with Jane Waller. And our assistant director stopped and said to the family, "Do we help you?" Okay. And that was like opening up peeling back the blooms of an onion, because as we talked to them, we said, okay, she'd had 8. And then our director said they were being given, let me know how many you have at the end of the day. We are not advocates of giving puppies away in the parking lot, because we know that many people will get that dog and without it being sterilized, then we proliferate this problem further. But she had 4 or 5 that were left, and she called. And so we invited her to the clinic on a Saturday when we weren't open. And she said, well, I have more dogs at home. And because we started talking about where these puppies came from, can we help you get mom fixed? And it was very clear these people had no resources whatsoever. The dogs were undernourished. The puppies had big bellies with worms. And she said, well, I have some. And I thought, okay. And she kind of held her head down and said, how many do you have? And she said, and then she started naming them. And I was unable to keep track of the names that she had for these dogs. And I said, I said, why don't I just give you a piece of paper and give you some time and you can start writing down who you've got. And she goes, oh, I know their ages. And she knew when all these dogs were born. She had 51 dogs. 51. Yes. Many of them kept inside and individual rooms. They were already childless, but rooms with 7 or 8 dogs in them. None of these dogs were fixed. And this started from a situation 5 years ago where she had 2 dogs and she was given hundreds away in the Walmart parking lot over the years. And so, without asking for donations from the general public, we have fixed all 51. And we have been able to, they were not very well socialized because how can you give 51 dogs any kind of individual attention, a proper training? Right. The family was so poor that she was cooking rice for them. So we have been supporting these animals through donations of pet food for the last 2.5. And she is down to about 25 in our house right now, which I know seems like a lot to a lot of people, but when you have 51, that's not a lot. Right. But there's no more breeding in the home. I regularly, when I have been able to successfully place another one after they've been in foster a while, I send her a video so that she knows that what she was doing was the best that she could, with the circumstances that she had. And that I help fight this better for them now.
And I'm sure that took time and they couldn't all just happen overnight. And the work to solve that problem.
We're working on another case in Exeter right now. And there were 48 there. And we've taken off probably, I think she's down to 15 now. And a couple of the last 3, I think, are coming in on Thursday to be fixed that the family has. But they were all living breeds of dogs, a Great Dane and some Chihuahua mixes and a couple Puggle mixes and so forth, just various breeds.
Do you think that people feel comfortable coming to you guys because they're going to other places that they might be turned in for animal neglect or something? Do you think that's part of why these people feel so comfortable coming to you guys, is the safety reporting factor that, hey, I got myself into a situation and I need help?
Well, I hope that they do, and I hope that the word goes into the community that we're here to go ahead and help not only the animals but the people themselves, because I have to be honest with you, when you go out to these properties, they're not what most people would consider the most livable places. So,
there's obviously more situations at play here.
Right. And
lots of situations at play.
Yeah. We're hoping that by helping the animals that we're helping the people. And that's been my own personal mission in my life, has been that I've been privileged to be able to be in a position where I don't have to work outside the home for an income, but I have the ability to share some of the knowledge that I have of what resources are available to people and make the human animal bond a little stronger by not feeling stressed about these animals. We would repeat letters about them running away, the authorities coming and saying, lock up your dogs, get this situation taken care of. How can we as a human side of our clinic make our community better by our presence. And that has always been our goal. And I hope that that leads from me as the leader of that organization down through all of the volunteers that come to us each and every day.
So good. Which honestly is a perfect segue into my next topic I wanted to bring up, which is your big Star Spangled Banner event in July, celebrating the 250th anniversary of the USA 250.
Well, we would like to go ahead and present to the community an opportunity for families from that may have some challenges. The opportunity to have 250 free surgeries presented during the month of July. Our total population per month is running around 400 to 450 surgeries a month, which is a pretty good number anyway. And so 250 animals will be selected based upon the need to get them fixed during that month. And it's a perfect opportunity that we are a country of freedom, and we want our pets to be free of the pet population here. So it's their free day too. And we also know that we have a significant number of veterans that have stood for our country's freedom in our area. There'll be some special highlights for those people as well, knowing that they'll go right to the top of our list. We are, I'm a military family myself. My husband probably served for 24 years. So I know those are the things that we bring to this community, knowing that there are plenty of people here in our community that I think would love to support this endeavor.
Yes.
Nothing is free, unfortunately, in terms of our suppliers haven't told us that they were going to ship us free drugs or comb collars or vaccines or anything like that. So
they're looking for sponsored. So let's talk a little bit about that, because you're right. There's a lot who would love to take up a cause like this. So let's tell the folks what kind of sponsors you're looking for and how they get involved.
Well, we've got various levels of sponsorship. If you want to be a top dog as a business or a family, perhaps entity, that would be a $1,500 sponsor. We've got cool cats, I believe, are $750. Is that right?
They do have a few levels, guys. Your top dog for the $1,500 that she was just speaking about, it's going to sponsor 40 animals, guys, and that's going to get your company name on the event. It's going to get you on logo, posters, website, social media, Facebook, and 4 shirts with corporate logos for that top dog. The next one's Cool Cat for $750, and that's going to help sponsor 20 animal surgeries, guys. Logo on posters, ads, website, social media, Facebook, and you get 2 shirts with corporate logo. Then we got the Doggone Generous for $500. That's going to sponsor 11 dog surgeries, guys. And that's your logo on posters, ads, website, and social media, Facebook. And then we have the last, but certainly not least, Cuddling Cat for $250. And guys, that's going to sponsor 10 cat surgeries. And that's going to get your company logo again on ads, website, print, and social media. And all sponsors are going to be invited to their clinic that day to just kind of hang out and see what their good money is going towards. So, and again, we will make sure we get all these forms and post all the phone numbers and how they can contact you guys to be a sponsor. Mm-hmm. So, and anything I missed there?
No, you did a great job.
Okay. I think this is a super worthy cause. And 250, guys, if you really think about that, 250 surgeries, that's 250 animals in our community that are now not going to repopulate. That's a huge impact for one day. Mm-hmm. And so what a great cause. You want your causation for your monetization. This is it right here. This is a good investment, and you're going to see direct results in your own community. Right? I'm super excited for you guys. Mm-hmm. But I love that. So All right. Well, we're going to kind of wrap up, but any long-term goals the clinic has? I know you guys are, gosh, you're booming. Came out swinging. Just got your, all your um your certifications and all that, and now you're on to creating a big banner. It sounds like what's going to become probably a big banner yearly event for you guys. But any long-term goals you guys have at the clinic that you're looking towards?
Yes, we do have something. So our goal this surgeries this year, we're hoping to achieve about 5,000, which is great, I think, for our community. There are other organizations in Northwest Arkansas, as well as the Job and Humane Society, that are producing similar type numbers. And I think for the community, the smallness of what we are, we're really making a huge impact. And I believe as of today, we will be topping over 1,700 animals since January 1st. And so, we're averaging about 44 animals a day. Today's number is 21 dogs and 29 cats, I believe. So we're right at the 50 number today. So today's a really big day. But a program that we haven't really announced yet, but I'll share a little insight, is that we've had a lot of requests for dentals. And somehow dental services. Yes. And being allowed, I could see that.
We just have terrible progress sometimes.
Yes. That means she's got a rotting tooth that needs to be addressed. Oh, no.
Okay, thank you. I'm glad we had this conversation.
Good dental health is very important because those bacteria from the teeth go right into the heart. So if you want your pet to live longer, make sure they have good dental health. And dental equipment is very, very expensive, but I was able to work with a veterinarian out in Ohio, and she was giving up a portion of her network, and I was able to procure her dental equipment. And next Thursday, I will be going to Ohio to pick up our dental equipment.
Congratulations. What a huge secret to be like. Yes, for you. Boy, guys. So that's a big addition to your
So what we're hoping to do is at least twice a month, set aside 2 days of the month just to do dentals. And again, there will be a target audience for that. From my past experience running another organization, I recognize that there are many people who have older dogs. These little chihuahuas and so forth, they're just so notorious for their bad teeth. And people who are living on a very fixed income. And it's difficult to give over $500, $700 for a dental. Yeah. And we all know as humans how difficult it is to have a painful mouth and to be able to eat. The animals start losing weight and so forth because they're not properly chewing their food or can't chew their food. So we're hoping to support mostly senior people who own senior pets have a better path and keep those animals around for those senior people who live longer.
And I think that's a big need in McDonald County. So will you be in a market for some kind of mobile vehicle to take your services mobile ever?
Do we have a standalone brick and mortar store, or do you do mobile? Okay. When you have a mobile clinic, you have to have your entire entourage moving with you. And that's difficult because of the logistics of it all. You have to have not only that mobile, but you have to have a fire hall. You have to have a church hall or something because you have to stage your animals. You have to have a proper recovery place. Those people have to, all of your work and staff have to come to that remote location and so forth. And it becomes a big challenge.
It'd be logistically very difficult to coordinate. It's much easier to want to help take on this cause because I do believe this is a worthy cause. And you guys, I do believe, are going above and beyond. And And I know what that's like to be grinding on just, for little to no pennies. I get that. I relate to that. So kudos to you for keeping up the grind. And thank you for being here today. It's been such a pleasure to visit with you. And for you guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and our little friends, they're off doing their own thing over here on the side of the camera. They say bye. And so you guys, will see you next time on another episode of McDonald County 411. Bye, guys.
Thank you.